Why are interior designers so secretive and inhibitive about giving away any knowledge about what it is that they do? Oh, well, this is a good one because this has been around in the industry since it's begun. And I'm talking about industry rather than just interior design in general. But the craziness about this is that it is true that most interior designers don't like to speak to other people, other designers, because they don't want to give away their secrets. They think that they have something special, and they really believe that that they possess, like, this secret knowledge that other people shouldn't know about, because it might create more competition for them if they release their secrets. I mean, part of this is a little bit of insecurity around their knowledge, because there are a lot of designers who have come down different pathways. There's self-taught interior designers. There are designers who have gone to university, and and other designers who have just done decor courses and things. So all of these different pathways create kind of their own insecurities, because interior designers who go to university say, well, I don't want to share my knowledge with people who haven't been to university, or the interior designer who has come through their own pathway and a self-taught interior designer doesn't want to share the knowledge that they've really worked hard to gain without having to go to university. And again, the decorators who come down the pathway of doing a diploma or something usually feel like, well, they're kind of in between. They're not this person, they're not that person, and they hold their own insecurities around the topic. So there are these kind of misconceptions or preconceptions about the trade secrets, the big trade secrets about how to make interiors, really, stand out, professional. And there is this culture of secrecy around the profession and what it is that we do as designers. This has started to change. But if you do contact an interior designer, especially if you're looking for work, or if you're trying to get a foot in the industry, or if you're just trying to find a placement, which is often the case, you will possibly come across a designer who just isn't very nice. And this is because they're probably quite busy, which is understandable, but also because I don't want to say I have a chip on their shoulder, but they've probably done a lot of hard work to become a successful designer. And I think that's, it doesn't mean because you've worked hard that you can be mean. Well, fair enough that yes, a lot of people do have a chip on their shoulder if they have had to do everything on their own, and now things seem to be a lot easier with social media and with even the internet if you've been around for a long time. So these things can make being an interior designer a lot easier, and maybe there is a little bit of resentment there from these designers. So you've got to understand things from their perspective as well, because they have put a lot of effort into being a successful designer, which any person who is successful in any industry does put in a lot of work. Success doesn't just come from, it's not just luck. So you do have to understand one thing, that these people have potentially worked very, very, very hard to where they've gotten. Whether you think that's easy or not is a different story, but for that person, it's been very hard. So, also, in the past, there hasn't been any kind of professional requirement to kind of share this knowledge, because coveting your secrets of how to create an interior in your way has been like the secret source of the industry. And I don't think that this is something we have to give away to people. I don't think that that is what people are looking for. What people are looking for is general knowledge. They're not looking for your specific secret sauce, your niche, the thing that makes you separate from other people and different from other people. What they're looking for is general knowledge. How to, get into the industry, how to become a profitable designer, how to, run projects from start to finish, because these are the things we're not taught by design schools, even diplomas or even universities. So, the things that we can't be taught in any other way but from an experienced designer. And this is the knowledge we should be sharing and helping other designers to get a foot in the door. Because as soon as you start helping other designers, you realize that it helps you as well. Because as we start to grow the community of educated designers, and I don't mean educated as in formally educated, as in designers who know how to do projects and how to run projects professionally, no matter what their background is. So that kind of knowledge that is shared is what is actually going to grow the industry. It's making the industry go faster. It makes it a bigger industry, a more professional industry, and it makes it more viable for all of us together. So obviously in the past there was no requirement, and I'm talking a while back now, that for CPD or continued professional education for professional designers. But these days, if you are part of a professional body, there will be a requirement for continued professional education, but also the requirement to help other designers. And this is actually really interesting, because in the past, where you might not have ever had that kind of requirement to share your knowledge, you now might have to do it, which is if you want to still be held in good stead as a designer. And I think this is a good thing, because mentorship has always been a huge part of the design industry. And whether we're coming from construction, architecture, interior design, or just general design, we all need to have somebody more experienced than us to help us. And this is why there's always this idea that you should go out into practice and get experience in an office. The reality is, however, that isn't possible for everyone. So there has to be another way to get that information, and that information has to come from more experienced designers who are willing to share that information and willing to mentor others and willing to share the knowledge that they do have. And I'm not specifically, like I mentioned earlier, talking about that secret sauce that is your niche, that is helping you stand apart. You don't need to give away those trade secrets. It's and not that that could be something that people could take anyway, if you see my point. If and I'll go on to this in a little bit in a little bit of detail in a second, because when I start talking about your niche. But I suppose what's next? This is kind of already, yes, changing the industry. But why is it changing? Well, I suppose people are also, since social media, people are now selling things on the internet. People are building communities and have found each other, which is really great. It's starting to help us network with other designers, find each other online, people who are willing to share information, and create a community that hasn't previously existed or has only been for a select few very exclusive groups. And I really, really felt that when, obviously, I'm an Australian in London, and being when I first came here, I was an architect. But when I started my interior design business, I was branching out into interior design. Even though I had worked with interior designers for 10 years prior, I still didn't have a community of interior designers. I was on my own, and it felt isolating. I had no one around me. I had architects, and that was really where I had, I was so grateful that I had that community that was open. But when it came to the interior design community, everyone had their doors closed, everyone. And to this day, it's really hard for me to even get into design communities. That's why I really believe in organizations like the British Institute of Interior Design, because they are a body that is open to helping other interior designers help each other in the industry. Whereas unless you're a part of that kind of or part of a group like that, it's almost impossible to get any help from an interior designer. So obviously that's why we created mentorship. This is why we created online communities for our interior designers who, people who are just starting out, trying to get a foot in the door, trying to just figure things out. You don't have to do that anymore. You've got communities like what we've provided now, because this is what is required. You need to have it in order to succeed. No one ever succeeds on their own. And I was grateful that I had my architecture community. And now more recently, the British Institute of Interior Design, to help with that. And obviously with my own mentorship community, and they bring me so much joy, and obviously that grows and is growing every day. So these are the things you need to look for. You need to look forward to these things, because or find these communities for yourself, because most interior designers are not going to just naturally give this information away, because the vast majority are still working on their own, enclosed in their own little bubble, and that's really sad. So this is kind of a question I'm answering in terms of why is this happening? Why do interior designers, why are they so closed off? Why are they so secretive? But actually, the opposite is true in terms of what is required, because sharing and collaborating is what is going to benefit us all and all designers. So just to kind of wrap this up, one of the big misconceptions about sharing knowledge is that you're going to create competition by giving away all of your secrets. And this isn't really true. I've proven this not to be true. I can prove this with the hundreds and hundreds of interior designers that I've now helped support in their careers to become interior designers, and or to grow their design careers, because we help you to create a niche. So as soon as you create, or as soon as you get out of yourself, what is it that makes you unique, you can create a niche and a brand around your unique selling proposition. And because of that, no one else can do exactly what you do. No one else can offer exactly what it is that you offer, because you are uniquely you. And people can get your ideas, but then they will make that their own. And that is design. If you've ever heard that saying that there's nothing is new, well, we do borrow ideas. We do get inspiration from other things and then make it our own. And that is the design process. Another one is they think if you don't share ideas, if you share your thoughts or share your ideas with others, they believe that people are going to steal their ideas. In the past, I would have thought that this was crazy. But as we all know recently, about the kind of disgraced interior design mentor who stole mine, all other coaches, all of their content, and then just started making out as though it was her own. I didn't believe that this was possible, especially coming from someone who was already teaching other designers. But obviously we see that it is possible. So in the past, where I would have said and would have believed that no one would do this, no one would be that silly, obviously I was wrong. People have done it, and maybe in the future people will do it. It is wrong. It shouldn't happen. But okay, it's rare, I suppose, is the big thing. So I think people stealing other people's ideas is still quite rare. Hopefully we all know, if we all start a community together, we will know that this is not on and this shouldn't be happening. Obviously, when you see the backlash that this designer coach, mentor person, fake person, who knows what, whatever this person now will call herself, is doing, if we all stick together, you will see that this won't happen again, or shouldn't happen again. So this is, I feel or hope it's a one-off, and people won't do this again, because you'll know that you can get sued for it, firstly, and it will tarnish your reputation. So don't do it. And it's not worth it, because you can create success on your own if you have the right tools. And that's what, that's why I'm here speaking to you about this topic, because I do believe that there is enough interior design clients for everyone. You don't have to worry about, succeeding in this career. Form a community, be part of a community. That's what we do. We have a community of interior designers, and it's a professional community, so not home renovators, things like that. It's genuinely a professional interior design community that is interested in benefiting other designers. And I think that is where I think the beauty really lies, because you're not getting like information that is just an opinion. Obviously, you're always going to get opinions, but at least the information is more relevant, specific to interior design. And that is where, the beauty comes in sharing, collaborating, and helping each other out to all rise together and be a success together. So if someone reaches out to you for help, you don't have to give away everything. But I think what I want to say is, try and help them with one thing. Even if you don't have the time, and I know we're all busy, help with one thing. See what you can do to help that person in one small way. What if you can put them in touch with somebody else? What if you can guide them for one thing? What's one resource that you would have that you can guide them with? And start with that. You don't have to be everything to everyone, but that one thing could change that person's life and really help them succeed in their career. So let's start the discussion. Why have you been afraid in the past to offer any advice to other designers? Have you coveted your secrets? Are you open to joining a community? Are you part of a community? Share your comments, and let's broaden this topic for everyone.